What's up, everybody? It's your favorite pastor, Pastor Troy Wynn Sr., speaker, author, and transformation coach from the East Coast to the West Coast. Shout out to everybody. It's Friday. And listen, I pray that you've had a blessed, prosperous day. And even if you didn't, listen, you made it through it. And that's a reason to celebrate. That's a reason to appreciate the fact that God let you see another day today. Hey, do me a favor and tag about 5 people, especially if they have college age students who are going to college first year and the parents are dropping them off and having to deal with the feelings and the emotions. I want to encourage you today. Got a word of instruction for you. I'm going to help you. And I know it's going to be a blessing to you. Won't be long, but I will promise to say something that I think is going to help you navigate this particular part of your life, this particular chapter of your life. Dropping my child off to college. How do I cope with my feelings? At college tomorrow. And I understand the feelings that go along with that, especially when you have your kids and you're so used to having them next to you, close to you, within arm's length. And then suddenly they are starting a new chapter of their life and they're starting it without you. So I want to encourage parents because how you navigate this particular chapter can really have a positive impact, but it can also have an adverse impact if you don't navigate this particular issue properly. So let's jump into it. Here's what we know about when you are dropping your kids off to college, especially if it's your first kid. It gets a little easier after you've done it 2 or 3 times. Pastor Tish and I have had to do it 3 times. But I remember the first time Octavia went off to college, our oldest daughter. And, we put on a strong front. We had our smiles and we had everything together externally, but on the inside, it was a challenge. It was new territory for us, especially for us because our kids have always been close to us. They've all grown up in our homes as we have moved and grown, and God has blessed us. And for them to be in another state, attending a college, and we all know that when you talk about college, there are a lot of things that run through your mind that you don't want your kids to get involved with. You don't want them to get caught up with. You want them to go to college, get an education, and graduate and come through it unscathed. And that moment, I tell you, it really does mark multiple beginnings and multiple endings. But here's what I want to encourage parents to learn how to do. You got to learn how to navigate this particular transition. As a matter of fact, not only are you having to learn how to navigate this particular transition, but so is the child that is going to college for the first time. Both of you are actually learning how to navigate this transition. They're transitioning into college, a new chapter in their life, and you're transitioning into parenting a young adult child who is not fully an adult, but they are on the path to adulthood. And here's what I want to encourage you to remember as they open the new chapters of their life. You're going to have to close some familiar chapters. And let me say that again. As they open some new chapters of their life, going off to college, if this thing is going to work, you're going to have to close some familiar chapters. What do you mean, Pastor Troy? Well, this transition is literally moving from one experience to another. And that's what I want you to think of it as. Don't think of it as an end. Because when you think of it as an end, it just increases the sadness and the emotional turmoil. So if you can, begin to try to transition your ideal of what is happening and just say, you know what, my child is moving from one experience to another experience. And listen, let's just be honest. The common feelings of being sad, being anxious. Some parents are unsure. Some parents are worried and some parents are fearful because you're wondering, are they prepared? Are they really ready for this next chapter in their life? Did I do everything I was supposed to do? Did I prepare them to be able to be semi self sufficient or self sufficient on a college campus with all of the options, all of the opportunities, and all of the temptations? Did I really prepare them for this next chapter? And I just want to give you some encouragement, parents, that no matter how much you try to prepare your child for that next chapter, which is college, there are going to be some learning lessons and there's going to be some things that they're going to have to learn and figure out on their own, just like we did. Sometimes as parents, and listen, I've been guilty. Sometimes as parents, we forget all of the things that we had to learn on our own. And some of the things we didn't have to learn on our own, but we chose to because we didn't want to listen. We chose to because we wanted to, figure it out on our own or take a path, even though it might have not been advised. And we learned a lot of things because we chose to. Well, here's what I want to tell parents, especially if you're a parent of faith. And I really want to hone in on this particular part of what I'm sharing. If you are a parent of faith, your faith is your greatest asset. Let me say that again. If you are a parent of faith, sending your child off to college, maybe for the first time, let me tell you this, your faith is your greatest asset. As I said, I remember when our first child went off to college, man, we had the perfect face. We said all the right things, but on the inside, we were concerned. On the inside, we were a little worried. On the inside, we went through detachment issues on the inside. And I even remember, and I'm not ashamed to tell you this, I even remember sleeping in my daughter's bed when she went off to college. I remember at night when I would miss her and I would walk by her room, so used to seeing her in the house and seeing her in the room. And there were some nights that I just went and I slept in her bed. Now, that's just what I had to do to comfort myself. And I want to share that with you so that you know it's okay, parents. It's okay for you to be concerned. As a matter of fact, I would be a little concerned if you weren't concerned. I would be a little concerned if you weren't concerned because you know the world we live in. But what you can't do is you can't let yourself be worried to such a degree that your emotions, watch this, become their distractions. Woo! This is going to bless somebody. Let me say that again. As parents, we have to be careful when we're sending our children off to college, especially if it's our first time or it's one of our young children. We're sending them off to college. Be careful that your worries don't become their distractions. And listen, this happens oftentimes unintentionally because when we are worried and concerned, we have a tendency to kind of overflow onto the child. Understand this, though, that you are sending them to college to get an education. You're also sending them to college to further their development as a responsible adult. So as parents, sometimes we have to pull back on what we say to them as it relates to our feelings and our fears and our concerns because they need to believe that you believe in them. Let me say that again. Woo. They need to believe that you believe in them. And here's what parents have to do, because this is what I had to do. Not just once, not twice, but 3 times. I had to do this. You have to train your brain to remember the bigger picture and the broader purpose. Oh, that's good. Let me say it again. You have to train your brain to remember the bigger picture and the broader purpose. What's the bigger picture? Well, we're sending them off to college so that they can grow and be successful and get an education and be able to take care of themselves and hopefully one day be able to take care of you. That's the bigger picture. And you have to train when your emotions try to dominate you. When your emotions and your feelings try to, box you in a corner where you can't even function, you can't think, you can't breathe, you can't even sleep. You got to remind yourself of the bigger picture and the broader purpose. Now, this is so key because I want to share this with you because I want to help a lot of parents. And I've been chatting with folks and, tamed over time. Now, they won't be tamed overnight. I can assure you of that. And there will be times when you have managed to suppress them, and then there'll be other times where they just seem to just run amok. And listen, that's okay. As long as you're committed to making sure that your worries and fears don't become your child's, your young adult, your young students' distractions. Because listen, just like you are concerned about them, they are concerned about you. Some may never articulate it, but I promise you, just like you're worried about them, they're worried about you. And you say, well, no, they're not thinking about me. They're off having a good time. They're doing their own thing. I promise you, if you are expressing your fears and your worries, then I promise you, your fears and your worries can easily become their distractions. Try not to make your emotions their distraction. If you don't remember anything else I say, please embrace that. Try not to make your emotions their distraction. And here's something that helped me: put yourself in their shoes. Put yourself in their shoes as a young college student and ask, what would you need from your parent if you were in their shoes? Woo! Now that's good right there. Can I tell you something? That helped me when I was going through what I was going through when my first child went off to college. Oh man, that thing helped me. What would I need if I were in her shoes? What would I need from a parent? Well, I would need to know that my parent believed in me. I would need to know that my parent is praying for me. I would need to know that my parent is just a phone call away if I need anything or I have any questions. And I would need to know that my parent trusts me. Now, this is key, because knowing that the parent trusts the child can help the child find their own rhythm, find their own way, and really be confident enough to know that, yeah, this is new for me, but I've got a support system that believes in me. And if you don't think that makes a difference, let me tell you, that makes a huge difference. I'll even throw this in for free. If you happen to have a college student that's going to college, this is the new chapter of their life. Maybe it's your first kid you're sending to college, or maybe you're sending another one. And with every kid, you go through this. That happens as well. If they're excited about college, and I need every parent to hear this, if they're excited about college, if they're excited about this new chapter in their life, here's what I want you to try to do, parents. I want you to try to match their excitement. Woo. Yeah. Don't be a Debbie Downer. Don't be a party pooper. Don't be that parent that constantly reminds them of everything that can go wrong. Because what will happen is you will instill a level of fear in them that doesn't belong to them. It literally belongs to you. And yes, I do believe in preparing them and making them aware of the things in the world that may do them harm. But it's a fine line between making them aware and making them scared. So if they're excited about college, what you want to try to do is you want to try to match their excitement. And here's the reason why you want to try to match their excitement. Imagine you matching their excitement and then using that excitement as a gateway to remind them of your expectations. Somebody's going to thank me for this. Let me say that again, because this is $1 million piece of wisdom here. Using that excitement, you use it as a gateway to remind them of your expectations. So yeah, I'm excited. Oh, you're excited? Yeah, I'm excited. Oh, I'm so excited for you in this new chance. I'm excited for you going to college and getting the experience. I'm excited about you getting a degree. I'm excited about you being on your own and having all the things you want. I'm so excited. And then you use that as a gateway to remind them of your expectations, which should be, I expect for you to go to class. I expect for you to be on time. I expect for you to do your homework. I expect for you to turn in your homework assignments. I expect for you to send me your grades, because I'm going to be checking your grades even though you're in college. Now, I just said something that most people will probably miss, but it's so rich, I can't afford for you to miss it. Yeah, I said use your excitement to remind them of your expectations. One of the biggest mistakes that a lot of parents make is they don't express their expectations clear enough, and then they don't put accountability as an attachment to the expectation. What do you mean? They're in college. I can't do that. Trust me, you can. You can, because I did. Yeah, my kids were in college, but that first year in college, we understood that they needed to show me something. we understood that they needed to prove to me that they were ready, that they were mature enough, because if they weren't mature enough, then we were going to have to come up with another plan, because I can't have you going to college but not going to college. I can't have you in college but not in college. I can't have you getting loans and spending money and buying books, but you're not doing what you need to be doing on the campus. And we all know that a lot of people doesn't graduate. And one of the major things I tell your kid off, there's a balance between giving them enough space, but also keeping them accountable to the agreed agenda. I just said something. I don't know if y'all got it. Did you hear what I said? There is something powerful in giving them enough space, but keeping them accountable to the agreed agenda. What's the agreed agenda? We are here to get an education. I'm talking about you keeping track of them academically, making sure that they are staying focused and making sure they're doing what they are there to do, which is to get an education and graduate. And it can be done when communication is the foundation of the relationship of you sending your child off to college. It's clear, it's simple, and it's understood that I have expectations. These are my expectations. And then, along with the expectations, here's what you can count on from me. I will support you. I will back you. I will help you. If you need something, you let me know. But I am sending you to college because I trust you. I'm sending you to college because I believe in you. And I'm sending you to college because you can do this. Man, this is good teaching. I hope somebody can appreciate this. And I'll close with this as I get ready to go, because I told you I wasn't going to be long. I've been asked this question, dropping my child off to college, Pastor Troy. How do I cope with my feelings and my emotions? These are some major keys that if you'll just implement them and work on your own anxiety, implement them and make sure that your fears are not becoming their distractions. Make sure that they understand the expectations that you have, and make sure that they understand that, yeah, you're in college, but I'm still involved. I'm involved now as the parent of a young adult. I promise you, this will go a long way in making sure that their journey is successful. And it may even go a long way with helping you decompress and leverage your faith. Because at the end of the day, if you are a person of faith, you're going to have to trust God like you've never trusted him before. I said earlier in this teaching that if you are a person of faith, that is your asset. Because at this level, when we send our kids off to college, we seriously have to trust God. There's no play trusting God with this, because oftentimes they are not within arm's reach. But if you've got enough faith to believe that God can take care of you, then you got enough faith to believe that God can take care of them. And you really have to leverage your faith and say, God, I need to put this child of mine in your hands, because at this chapter of their life, I can't be there every step of the way. At this chapter of their life, I can't micromanage them. At this chapter of their life, I have to give them the same space that you give me as it relates to my salvation. And I promise you, if you'll take these keys, incorporate them in your relationship, in your life, I promise you they'll make a huge difference. Leave a comment and let me know if this has blessed you. Share it with somebody who's got a kid going to college. Be a blessing to them and say, hey, I saw this on Facebook. I saw this on YouTube. I thought this might be a blessing to you. Take a look at it. And I believe somebody's going to thank you for sending it to them. Dropping my kid off to college. How do I cope with the feelings and the emotions? Do what I told you. Take the instructions. And I promise you it'll make a difference. Well, hey, until the next time, be blessed. Keep looking up and trust God, because he's able to do more than you can do. Have a great day.